Alright, so as everyone knows, Android 21 is coming to JP Dokkan very, very soon. She is the next Dokkan Fest unit that will be arriving, and her category will be the Android category. Now, this is one of the categories I most wanted to see in Dokkan. I would say I really want an Android category. I really wanted a Frieza race category. And I also really want a Dragon Ball category, like all of, original Dragon Ball up until, the point where Raditz shows up. I think those three would help out a lot of units that do not have categories. After that, the only kind of notable unit that wouldn't have a category, I believe, would be the Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta and Bulma card. I don't even know what category they put that one on. Really, he should have been on the full power category, but he wasn't. So the Android category is going to give a category to, most notably, the only Dokkan Fest unit left in the game that does not actually have a category, Super Android 17. So he likely will be on the banner with Android 21. Android 21 is an STR type, by the way. I think this banner is going to be pretty good because I think it's going to have Super 17. It probably will. It'll have Android 21. Okay, so SCR Android 21. AGL Super Android 17. I think SCR Rose Goku Black will likely be on the banner. Android 21 could have a secondary part of her leader skill for STR types. I also think the STR Cell will probably be on this banner. So those four Dokkan Fest exclusives. Now I could say for me personally, that's perfect because I need all four of those units. STR Cell is actually the only, he's pretty much the only unit in the game I don't have at this point. So that would be very, very good. Super 17 is going to fit pretty good on this team, by the way. I guess the fact that he doesn't have Big Bad Bosses could hurt, but I don't think Android 21 will have Big Bad Bosses, so that probably won't be too much of a concern. And I think a lot of the other Androids won't have Big Bad Bosses either. So we can expect Super Android 17 on there. All of the Android 17 and 18 cards will be on there. Android 13. One thing I would like to point out too is that Android 13 will be on the category. This int one is pretty good, but judging by how Turles got a Dokkan Fest, and they recently did a story event on the Slug movie, introducing one very good Lord Slug card and another solid free-to-play Lord Slug card option, I guess I would say. I wouldn't be surprised if this Android 13 movie, like a story event would come out or a Dokkan Fest would come out in due time. Because there is no like story mode or Dokkan event or anything pertaining to this movie right here, the 7th Dragon Ball Z movie. So we will get something along the lines of this movie sooner rather than later. So, if this guy is a Dokkan Fest card, he probably would be very good and he'd be a very solid option for the Android category in the future when it did come out. I do think the second Dragon Ball Z movie and then the first Dragon Ball Z movie, those are the other two that don't have a story event, Dokkan Fest event, anything like that. And in that second movie, The World's Strongest, Dr. Willow and Dr. Kochin, they could be on the Android category as well. We would see exactly how they had lined it up. But, if they did a Dokkan Fest event or something on Dr. Willow, I could expect him to be in this category as well. So there are a lot of units that could buff this category. Plus, many people are expecting an LR Cell sooner rather than later. I'm sure he would be a monster unit on this Android category. So maybe there's not a lot of hype for it, but it's a category that definitely has the potential to become very, very good. Now, let's kind of go through all of the units that I do think will be on here. So, number 1, Android 16. I am predicting, I'm going to put it in stone, I believe there will be a TUR Android 16 that will come out along with Android 21, because Android 16 had a very big role in the Dragon Ball FighterZ storyline. And we know that Android 21 is coming out, and there also was a teaser for a Dragon Ball FighterZ like special event or a story event here in Dokkan. So I suspect we'll get a Android 16 that probably will awaken with medals from the Android 21 event. So, however they decide to make him, a defensive unit, a support type unit, I don't know, just maybe a strong card. A new Android 16 could be very good on this category. We'll see. Me personally, I think I would hope for a very strong defensive type unit. because eventually all these categories will get like Super Battle Road stages, and there's not a lot of great defensive units, I think, that would fall in the Android category. So that would be cool if Android 16 was a very strong defensive type unit. I'm definitely looking forward to Android 16 getting some love, because again, we're 3 years into the game, and the only SSR for 16 is the Super Strike. That's it. Like, he was a godsend. A lot of you guys probably weren't around back then, but when LR Goku, the first LR in the game, first came out, this Android 16 card was a lifesaver against that event, because only Super Strike units could participate in the LR Goku grind, see, as you guys can see right here. So, Android 16, Shield, and King Vegeta were amazing back then. Alright, so that covers Android 16. We'll definitely see Android 17 on the category. What does the AGL 17... He buffs AGL and int types. Okay, so that would hurt him on this category. He probably won't be too good here. So you can take the AGL one off. The SCR one is an orb changer. He is the good kind of orb changer too, changing AGL to Rainbow. That could be useful, but there's not, wow, actually looking at it, just a normal Android 17 card, there's not like one that would be like tremendously powerful on this category. To be honest, we could make do with another Android 17 card. Fuck. Even this guy, the MVP of the Tournament of Power, is just so disappointing. The 70% is fine to attack and defense, but then he has to get tech orbs to get even stronger, so he's a big disappointment. Future Android 17 will be pretty good, again, as an orb changer, and he's also able to change 2 types of orbs when health is low. So the future Android 17 and 18 could be very interesting on this category. I definitely do want to point that out. And then some of these links, like he's got Nightmare. I could definitely see Android 21 having Nightmare. We'll see, but he could have some links that could be very good on the Android category team. We already looked at Super 17. I don't really think either of the two Hellfighter 17s will probably really move the needle very much. I mean, this guy is okay. He gets the attack 90% and then the 2 key. Fine, I guess. He does also have Nightmare. Shocking Speed, I'd say, is another very likely link for Android 21. Android 21 will probably have... I mean, to be quite honest, looking at this link set, I could see Android 21's link set basically being this, and then maybe replace GT with, like, Battlefield Diva, or maybe a Majin Link, because she is referred to as Majin Android 21, is she not? So, but I think this is probably pretty close to what she'll have. Fear and Faith, Android Assault, Brutal Beatdown, Shocking Speed, Nightmare, Fierce Battle. That sounds like Android 21 to me. So, if that is the case, maybe this Hellfighter 17 could be pretty useful, at least in sharing all the links with her. And then the AGL free-to-play Hellfighter 17, he could be pretty good because he does have that 50% chance to evade. Again, I can foresee when the Android category comes out for Super Battle Road, this free-to-play Hellfighter 17 could be a very good option for that team. And that basically covers the Android 17 cards. Again, pretty weak. We do need just a normal, very good Android 17. I want a good Android 17 from his fight with Piccolo, and then I also want a really good Android 17 from the Tournament of Power. Honestly, being the winner of the Tournament of Power, I think we all agree he would be deserving of an LR. The LR, the fucking winner of the TOP, that's fine. I would definitely like to see that. And then, obviously, the LR Androids, I think, will finally be on a category. They're very outdated, though, so maybe don't put too much stock into them. But again, you know, Nightmare, Fear, and Faith, Shocking Speed, 21 will likely have those, so at the very least, a lot of these units will have common links. Wow, their 12 key multiplier is only 130%. That's pretty low. Holy shit. Okay, so moving on to 18. 18 actually has... I think the int one is not the good orb changer. Yeah, you don't want to run int Android 18 here, because changing Rainbow to int will close off key paths, not the best. But the STR and the Tech Android 18s could be pretty good. I'm a big fan of this Android 18 right here. I think she's one of the most underrated units in the game, because she has a 70% attack and defensive buff right off the bat, and then any orbs after that give her 12% attack and 7% defense. That's crazy. She's very good. So she could be a very strong unit on this category. I probably will be running her on this category, but her links probably won't match up very well with 21. That's the only thing. Unless, I mean, maybe 21 will have Battlefield Diva? I don't know. And then this SCR 18, she's also pretty good. 50% attack at the start of turn, and then an additional 50% to attack and defense when HP is 50% or above. Only thing, again, is her links could be a little bit of an issue. She doesn't have Fierce Battle either, I guess, which would hold her back a little bit. And that basically does it for 18. We also do have the future Android 18 over here, who is very good, just like the future Android 17. So she could be pretty good on the category. Moving on, Cell. Cell will, all forms of Cell will be on the category, 100%. I'm not going to hear any talk that they might not be on here, because some of these fuckers, like SCR Cell, randomly not being on the full power category, so I'm pretty sure we'll see him on the Android category. SCR Cell probably could be pretty good, again, because, you know, things, Nightmare, Shocking Speed, Fierce Battle, Android 21 will likely have those. He does stack his attack and defense. 12 key multiplier only 140%. That does hold him back a little bit. But SCR Cell is definitely still a good unit. I think the Tech Cell is going to be a lot better for the team, though. This guy, I go back and forth on who's the best EZA, him or Ultimate Gohan. Right now, I'm leaning more towards this Cell just because of how he dominated in Super Battle Road for me. On the Revived Warrior category, he was like maybe the most outstanding unit on Super Battle Road. It's insane how good this guy is, because especially when you have him rainbowed, his stats are so fucking high that he doesn't take damage. He does ridiculous damage. He heals. His links are okay. Like, he's a very good unit. I'm very excited to see what Tech Cell is going to look like on the category. Again, an LR Cell could very much be a thing we could see. Or, you know, they could do an LR Cell. So they could do LR Perfect Cell that has the Beam Clash with Gohan. They could do an LR Cell with Cell Juniors, and they could do an LR First Form Cell with the transformation mechanic. Like, there's so many options for Cell in the future. Like, that's the thing. Eventually, the Android category is just going to be a Cell team. Because I would presume if they really would do that many LR Cells, one of them would probably be an Android category leader anyway. So you could literally build a full fucking Cell team. I'm very excited for the day when we could do that. That would be really fun. So, on that note, by the way, I would like to see a better second form and first form cells come into the fray, because really none of these units will be too good. This second form cell is good, but he's only a tech support type unit. And then let me see, what does this first one do again? Recover 30% of damage dealt as health. Yeah, we could get a better first form cell as well. So here we have this cell. This perfect form cell, extreme type ally 2 key, attack and defense 30%. So he could be pretty good for the category. Chances are he'll be a very good unit. But then, even better than him, we have the GT free-to-play Perfect Form Cell, who Extreme Type Allies 2 key, 25% attack and defense. He seals, and he recovers 7% HP. So this cell is going to be a monster. I probably will eventually 100% this guy, because he's just got so much value to the team. We have Cell Juniors over here. There's only, like, basically a fucking R Cell Junior. Eventually, we most definitely are going to get a lot more Cell Juniors. I'm sure we will get like an SSR, a UR version of Cell Junior for every typing. Eventually, there will be a Cell Saga story event, I'm sure, and that's where we could get some more of these guys. It's all in due time, right? So let's take a look at this guy. This guy, damage received minus 30% when guard is activated. So he's good against int types, I guess. But he also does have that 140%. No, what's the one with the ridiculous 12 key multiplier? Is it the N Cell Junior? One of these Cell Juniors have like a disgusting 12 key multiplier. Is it the physical N Cell? Hold on, let me take a look. Yeah, okay. 160% 12 key multiplier. So random on this N card right here. So it's Tech Vegito Blue, SDR Rose Goku Black, and this N physical cell. That's funny. Arale cards. The Arale cards could be on the Android category. Only thing is that a lot of the... they're all pretty much outdated. The only Arale card I would really see any play here is the physical Arale. 120% when performing a super attack, so she could still hit pretty hard. She does have Fierce Battle. She does have Shocking Speed. Mechanical Menaces. I don't know if this is a link. that a lot of androids have. No, this is Arale. Oh, Rildo. Could Rildo be on the category? Huh. You know, I think Rildo could, the machine mutants could end up on this category. That's an interesting point. I hadn't even thought of that. None of these are really spectacular, though. This one is the AGL support type unit. That we do have this Metal Rildo, who could be interesting whenever he awakens. This guy's closing in on 3 years old, and the fucker still hasn't awakened, by the way. So, I mean, we'll see what happens when he does eventually awaken. He has a very good fucking link set, by the way. Holy shit. Big Bad Bosses, Search for Conquest, Metamorphosis, GT, Nightmare, and Fear and Faith. Damn. You give him Fierce Battle, and he's a problem. Oh, boy. Yeah, that would be very good if he was on the Android category. So she, Arale could be interesting if she's on there. We also have our boy Obacha Man here. If Arale cards and Obacha Man really are in the Android category, I could see them returning the Arale banner again. There's no reason not to, right? But he attack and defense 60% when facing only one enemy. He doesn't awaken or anything. He's just like a filler option. I don't know, if you're a player who's been around since this banner was out, you could run this guy. And then the last unit I could see them bringing him in is Mira. Despite what my boy Kabuki says, don't fall for his trolling, y'all. Mira is indeed an android, and I do suspect he will be on the android category. Nightmare, Fear and Faith. I don't know if Tough as Nails or Demon Duo. Kamehameha. None of those will probably really help him out. I presume eventually we're going to get new Mira and Toa cards, especially now that Fighters has had this little crossover in Dokkan. I mean, they have never done an event for Xenoverse 2. I don't know why. Xenoverse 2 is still popping, though, so I could see them bring something to Dokkan still. And we basically covered everything. There is Android 19 and 20 as well, but again, those are units that they've never really added. There's a lot of units in the game, like a lot of those, like they were out when the game first came out as like rare cards and SR cards and shit that have never gotten SSRs, and they honestly deserve it. Like Android 19, they could make an SSR Android 19 Android support category unit. That'd be cool. Or a Dr. Gero, like they, Android 20, they really could give him something as well. Eventually, I'm sure they will. We'll see what comes with this Dragon Ball Fighters Android 21 update. I'm pretty sure we'll see 21 plus an Android 16. We might see a good version of Android 21. You could tell which one that is because her eyes are blue, like she has like human eyes, whereas this one has, Majin Buu eyes, basically. And then we know that this one will transform into the cell-absorbed version of Android 21. We could see other Android-type units. I'm sure they will support the Android category. Usually, that's what they do. Like, we've had a lot of buffs to Cell recently, a lot of new Cell cards that'll be on the category. I could see them, making better versions of a lot of the other androids as well to help the category. Usually they will do that. When they put a category in the game, they will release units that will help that category. So, we'll see what happens once Android 21 drops. Thanks, y'all, for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.